Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 18th of September, and boy, oh boy, do we have big news today. I believe that we have seen a 17 proof come to light on this very day. Coming at us from The Guardian, we can see here, J.A. Trump associates offered Assange pardon in return for emails source court hears. We all know that the NSA has everything and they know everything. I believe that this is being baby stepped to the American public because already the story has been written. I will also be talking about this. I think this is extremely important. This could offend a lot of people, but it needs to be said. This is coming at us from Caroline Ellis, I believe is how her name is pronounced. So I am going to address this waste of energy, the JFK Jr. Anon fight. I have plenty to say. She goes on to say her 17-cent thread. Guys, it is an importance. I believe it is causing a little bit of division between bigger accounts, and we'll get to the bottom of it in today's thread. So again, my friends, it is always an honor for me to be on the front lines with each and every one of you day in and day out, because in the end, where we go one, we go all. Hey guys, hope you're doing good. Let me tell you about my sponsor, Noble Gold. You know, life has never looked so uncertain as it does right now. Across the U.S., people are being paralyzed into indecision. So many people humming and hawing about everything, feeling flustered with all of these shutdowns, avoiding that issue, the money one. But bleak as it might look, there may be a silver or even gold lining. If you've worked for years before CV, you could have a 401k sitting around gathering dust, or even an old IRA that we could help with. Working for your old company when it could be working for you. We're not talking peanuts either. Some plans have thousands of dollars in them. All your 401k plans. Look into this, please. To find out more about unlocking your own hidden treasure, call the team at Noble Gold at 877-646-5347. And if that's not an incentive enough, Noble Gold is giving away the U.S. Mint's own solid silver 5-ounce $1 Apollo 11 moon landing coin when you sign up today for a gold or silver IRA. I have one. It's so worth it right now to jump on the phone and deal with this by calling 877-646-5347 now. Please, guys, jump on this opportunity. They will help you out. It's a great company and they support True Reporting, and you get an awesome coin in the meantime, my friends. So again, thank you for choosing Noble Gold, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's show, would you please go ahead and subscribe to my backup channel, True Reporting 2.0. The suppression on this main channel is quite severe, so the best thing that you need to do is go ahead and search for True Reporting 2.0 and click that subscribe button. Also, guys, follow me on Twitter at True Reporting. You can follow me on Parler at True Reporting 1985, and never forget to leave a like on each and every one of these videos. The more likes that they receive, the more times it is recommended to other viewers on YouTube, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into today's podcast together. This is True Reporting. So, massive news today coming at us from The Guardian. J.A. Trump associates offered Assange a pardon in return for email source the court hears. WikiLeaks founder was asked to reveal source of leak damaging to Hillary Clinton, the hearing told. Two political figures claiming to represent Donald Trump offered J.A. a win-win in quotations deal to avoid extradition to the U.S. and in an indictment. A London court has heard. Under the proposed deal outlined by Assange's barrister, Jennifer Robinson, the WikiLeaks founder, would be offered, here we go guys, a pardon if he disclosed who leaked Democratic Party emails to his site in order to help clear up allegations that had been supplied by Russia hackers to help the Trump election in 2016. According to a statement from Robinson read out to the court, the offer was made by then Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher and Trump associate Charles Johnson at a meeting on the 15th of August in 2017 at the Ecuadorian embassy in London where Assange was then sheltering. At the time, he was under secret investigation by a U.S. grand jury. Robinson added, the proposal put forward by Congressman Rohrabacher was that Mr. Assange identified the source for the 2016 election publications in return for some kind of pardon. You know who that is. That is SR. This leads all the way back to the Clinton Foundation, to the Podesta emails. This is all coming to light. This is a carpet bombing of information, and it's there to combat the election fraud and what the Democrats have in store coming up to the election. This is massive news, guys. Assurance or an agreement which would both benefit President Trump politically and prevent U.S. indictments and extradition towards Assange. Rohrabacher said he had come to London to talk to Assange about what might be necessary to get him out. Robinson said and presented him with an, in quote, win-win situation. I believe he needs to be extradited to the U.S. because that way he is safe within white hat security. He is insulated and thus able to speak maybe before a grand jury in the United States, exposing more and more that we all know were absolute nuggets of information that were brought to us. It awakened so many people. Without WikiLeaks and that drop, a lot of people would still be asleep. I can promise you this is a strategic plan in place to electrify everyone's minds heading into the election with a vast amount of information and truth being brought to light. The barrister, I believe it's how it's pronounced, added that Assange did not name the source of the emails. After Assange's legal team made similar allegations in February, a White House spokesman said, in quote, the president barely knows Dana Rohrabacher other than he's an ex-congressman. He's never spoken to him on this subject or almost any subject. It is a complete fabrication and a total lie. This is probably another never-ending hoax and total lie from the DNC, the Democrat National Committee. Absolutely. During the 2016 presidential campaign, WikiLeaks published a series of DNC emails damaging the Democratic candidate, then the thick-ankled dog-face Hillary Clinton, that U.S. intelligence believed were hacked by Russia as part of its efforts to influence the election. Always Russia, Russia, Russia. It's always the ties to China, China, China. Assange is fighting extradition to the U.S. over the leaking of hundreds of thousands of classified documents in 2010 and 2011. He is facing 18 charges there, including plotting to hack computers and conspiring to obtain and disclose national defense information. Guys, we all know that Julian Assange is the hero and that Ed Snowden is the traitor. Get it straight. The alleged approach of the two men just 4 months after the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller to investigate the allegations of Russian interference came at a time when Trump was coming under increasing scrutiny over what members of his campaign knew about the leaked emails. Russia denied meddling, and Trump has denied any campaign collusion with Moscow. Mueller did not establish that campaign members conspired with Russia as well. Robinson's description of the offer suggests that Trump was prepared to consider a pardon for Assange in exchange for information almost a year before a federal grand jury issued a sealed indictment against the WikiLeaks founder. We are watching a white hat movie play out, guys. This is all strategic. If it is confirmed that the approach did indeed have the approval of Trump, it would mark the latest in a number of interventions by the U.S. president in relation to the investigation into the Russian election interference. In her statement, Robinson said Rohrabacher and Johnson wanted us to believe that they were acting on behalf of the president. They stated that the president was aware and had approved of them coming to meet with Assange to discuss a proposal. Remember, he does not know who these people are. And that they would have an audience with the president to discuss the matter on their return to Washington, D.C., she said. Congressman Rohrabacher explained he wanted to resolve the ongoing speculation about Russian involvement in the Democratic National Committee leaks to WikiLeaks, which were published by WikiLeaks and other media organizations in 2016. He also stated that he regarded the ongoing speculation as damaging to U.S.-Russian relations. It is not. This is all fabricated. That it was reviving Cold War politics. Nope. And that it would be in best interest of the U.S. if the matter could be resolved. He and Mr. Johnson also explained that any information from Mr. Assange about the source of the DNC leak would be of interest and value and assistance to Mr. Trump. It would be value and interest to the American people. This is what it boils down to. The meeting was concluded on the basis that Congressman Rohrabacher would return to having a direct conversation with President Trump about exactly what would be done to prevent Mr. Assange's indictment and extradition. Appearing to confirm that the approach had been made, James Lewis QC for the U.S. government said, in quote, "The position of the government is we don't contest these things that were said," adding, "We obviously do not accept the truth of what was said by others." In his own statement in February, Rohrabacher admitted meeting Assange but denied speaking to Trump about the issue. In quote, "In no time did I offer Julian Assange anything from the president because I had not spoken with the president about this issue at all. However, when speaking with J.A., I told him that if he could provide me information and evidence about who actually gave him the DNC emails, SR, I would then call on President Trump to pardon him," he said. My gracious, guys, this is massive. And look what this ties directly into. This proves that we are watching a white hat, strategically planned movie. This was 4 days ago. 17 posts, J.A. Now this leads to SR, which then leads to all the way back to Podesta. This all the way leads back to the Clinton Foundation, thus bringing a light, bringing justice to those who did this to this young man, SR. Guys, I cannot even believe what we are seeing. I believe that in the next 49 days, we will see a carpet bombing of information coming out. Remember, we still have the Durham report. We still have Barr going out giving seditions. A lot is taking place. It's all going to come to a point. We are at the precipice of something amazing taking place, guys. This is all to combat the elite Democrats and what they are trying to do on Election Day. I can promise you that. This is going to be a giant red pill for many, many Americans that are still on the fence about what is going on. All right, guys, switching gears for a moment. I do want to show this to you because I do feel it may ruffle a few feathers, but it needs to be said. So many big accounts are addressing this. I am on the fence about it, but I just want to know what you think about it. So leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. This is for Easton Awake AF. So I'm going to address this waste of energy about John F. Kennedy Jr. Anon fight. I have plenty to say, my 17 cents thread. What all of the big accounts need to remember is this. It's Q Team's, in quote, fault that this is still an issue. Why? Because they said, in quote, we always use this, disinformation is necessary before. So there's always going to be that question, that possibility, that hope. Give people a sliver of hope and they will hang on to it. It's an innate response and a damn good one. As a country, we've been through hell, woke up to the dark truths, dug deep, exposed ourselves to evils, and brought them to light. So about that hope, I'm cool with people having it. And if John F. Kennedy Jr. is alive, like some hope, would they answer with a yes? If he is part of the plan, I say that's a huge effing part. So you don't answer yes, right? Right. Now to the bigger issue. Why does this rub you the wrong way? Why is this still a point of contention? It's as if y'all haven't learned anything. The irony of this, we are, in quote, free thinking, and we are a movement. This, I'm right, you're wrong, is divisive, and it's very dumb. The problem is, you don't want people thinking you are crazy. Newsflash, we are all mad here. They already think we're crazy. Embrace the suck. We talk about trafficking, sacrifices, cannibalism, and adrenochrome. Some people hoping John F. Kennedy Jr. is alive is hardly the nail in our, quote, crazy coffin. Hell, most normies believe Tupac and Elvis are still alive. Who cares? Not to mention it shows how much, in quote, trust you have in the plan. You think this will stop it from happening? Nothing will stop what is coming. This will hurt the movement? Did you all forget this is God's plan? POTUS and everyone involved in this are protected. God's hands are all over this. And in case you've forgotten, we are, in quote, watching a show. Absolutely. It's all done. If John F. Kennedy Jr. rhetoric harmed the plan in any way, Q Team would extinguish it. The Q Team sees everything, yet they're not sweating this. But you all are? Question everything, even 17 drops. Remember, disinformation is necessary and you need to use discernment. Think for yourselves. I have no gatekeeper, but the big one, God above. I suggest we spend our precious energy on something that matters. This doesn't. If you want to put something in your biography like John F. Kennedy with a slash through it, do that. That way, if you're right, you can say, hey, I told you so. We know your stances. As for me, I'm in the, in quote, man, I hope all of these John F. Kennedy Jr. anons are right, because that would be epic as F. But if not, I still get this cool The Great Awakening of 2020 shirt. So there's that. That was my 18 cents. End. And it is very important, guys. I see it all the time in the chat. People are very combative about this. They get triggered. We don't need this. It's a waste of our energy. Focus your energy on positivity, spirituality, on God, on your family, and protecting those around you. That is what we need to be focusing on, and spreading information. Finally, I will leave you with this, my friends. Soros-backed coalition preparing for post-election day chaos. We're going to fight like hell, he says. This guy, how is he still walking the streets? I do not know. Under the guise of seeking to prevent a constitutional crisis, a massive network of well-funded left-wing activists and progressive groups are training, organizing, and planning to mobilize millions of Americans should President Trump, in quote, contest the election results. Guys, I think you all have the intuition of what's going to happen. President Trump will win. The Dems will say that it's faked. The MSM will push what the Dems are saying because it is their mockingbird media. Then the president will not want to leave. He will not concede his election because he knows it's fake, right? He knows that they cheated. We know that they cheated, and thus it could be pandemonium. I do not know. That may be the point where we go into almost a military control state, and then the president is aboard and insulated within Air Force One. That's when we receive the message. That's when it all goes to the emergency broadcast system, and that's what will take place. I can see this all adding up. Just use your intuition. I would suggest stocking up on food. I would suggest getting a firearm to protect your family, just in case. This is not fear-mongering, but I think that it's going to get quite rocky, and I've been saying this for months, guys. It is going to get very bumpy before it gets better. Remember, it's always the darkest before the dawn. He goes on to say that refusing to concede or claim an early victory. More than 80 advocacy groups and grassroots organizations, bullcrap, have joined in a broad coalition calling itself Protect the Results. Look at how this is panning out. And proclaiming that we cannot, in quote, we cannot ignore the threat that Trump poses to our democracy and peaceful transition of power. Guys, this is going to get serious. I need you all to be prepared for this because it is going to get nuts. I think it's going to get nuts, and I know that that Q has told us that, hey, you know, you need to prepare for this, that the American people are safe, but remember, there are casualties of war. Always know that. Don't be that person. Stay safe. Arm yourself, because again, guys, this is biblical. This is a strategic plan placed in place by white hats, and we are watching it play out in real time. We will see what will take place. Again, stay safe, see something, say something. If you enjoyed this podcast, guys, and you fully thought it was informational, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and do not forget to leave a like, guys. Remember, it is always an honor for me to stand on the front lines with each and every one of you day in and day out, because in the end, where we go one, we go all. Guys, if you found what you just watched informative and you enjoyed it, then please subscribe to the True Reporting family today. There are many ways to support this channel, like our Patreon link, our PayPal link, and our TRUreporting.us official website link in the description box below. Join the True Reporting family today and be a part of history, because where we go one, we go all.